Welcome back, internet friends. You may have noticed that the price of precious metals, gold, silver, has definitely been rising in 2020. So today, I would like to give you several reasons that I think precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, and palladium will be excellent investments for this year and the next few years going forward. We're making this video from my beach house in Mexico because my neighborhood looks a little something like this tonight. Protests have turned ugly and they had riots destroying parts of Santa Ana as well as Long Beach, Los Angeles. The whole country is up in chaos. Let's get started with gold and silver. I gotta do a silly disclaimer. This is not financial advice. Don't do anything I say to do. Make sure and do your due diligence when making any financial decisions. All financial decisions could come with the potential of loss. Now, number one reason I think gold and silver and the other precious metals are going to do so well in the next coming years is because central banks just injected $21 trillion worth of money into the system in the different forms of stimulus and buyback programs, all just trying to stem the market chaos from the pandemic and the shutdown. In order to stave off complete economic collapse and failure, central banks have printed a large amount of money, and it's gone out in different forms. Over $21 trillion, which is about 23% of the entire planet's GDP, was created and pumped into the system just between mid-March and April. That's a huge amount of money. This chart right here shows you the actual M2 money supply, and it had a tremendous jump just in the last 2 months. And we don't even have the numbers for May yet. This massive amount of money being created, pushed into the system, will take a few months, maybe even a year, to trickle down into various places. But we are already seeing inflation rise, not just because of money printing, government debts rising, and stimulus, but we're also seeing things like food shortages that are causing a rise in food prices. For example, the bacon that I buy every week went up $1 this week. As opposed to last week, it was $4.98, and this week it was over $5.80. Now, the cheese I usually buy, I buy a big block of orange cheddar every couple weeks. I love Tillamook orange cheddar. Last time I bought it, it was $8 and change. Now it's almost $11. So we are seeing inflation in certain things, especially food. Number two, the next thing I think that is going to cause more people to buy gold and silver is the overall fear of unrest, war, and potentially civil war. I told you in my last video about precious metals that fear is one of the drivers of gold and silver investing. Well, fear is incredibly high right now. We had the entire country under lockdown for several months, and this weekend was supposed to be an amazing opening of much of the country. I know personally in California where I was at, I was looking forward to go to the bars last night. But instead, protests erupted, they turned rowdy, the whole city was shut down at 8 p.m. I was actually door dashing last night, and I had to call it quits. Even though I wanted to keep making money, I still got orders. The restaurants all had signs that said, closed due to curfew. Grocery stores even closed at like 5 p.m. yesterday, just so their employees could get home in time. Civil unrest definitely sparks fear in people. People like to invest in precious metals when fear is up, and right now, fear is up. Now, before I get started, the absolute most important thing for you to do if you want to make a ton of money investing in precious metals is for you to smash the like button. Now, another reason why precious metals will continue to rise this year and beyond is that mining actually took a big hit during the lockdown. While we were in lockdown, certain parts of the world and the country were not running mining operations. While these mines have been shut down, slowly, the above-ground supply will dwindle. We saw the shutdowns of the South African mines. When there is a mining facility that's been shut down, it's not always instant that you can start it back up. Sometimes things take a few weeks to months before you can ramp up production again. Next, the physical demand is crazy, and it's almost impossible to get physical metals at this time. This is a sign that people are accumulating and they're very interested in precious metals right now. Personally, I tried to get some gold or silver the other night, and Provident Metals, APMEX, almost all of their stuff is sold out. One thing is you can still get some America the Beautiful series at a decent price for silver, Don't you think it's a strange coincidence that bats are on the design for the 2020 America the Beautiful series, when bats are apparently where this whole coronavirus thing came from? I just thought I'd point that out to you guys. A few years ago, I made a video called Silver, the Best Investment of 2016, and I talked about buying 100-ounce bars for $1,400 in that video. Well, now those same 100-ounce Canadian bars are like $2,200. Like I said, the price of silver in the paper market, according to the spot price, is about $18.50 as of today, June 1st. Prices on physical are much higher than the prices of the paper market and much higher than spot. So this is just a sign that people are gobbling up whatever physical they can get right now. And for those of us in California during this crisis, try going to your local coin shop and you'll be greeted with this fun sign: closed as directed. Next thing that is going to keep precious metals up for a little bit is that potentially we are looking at more future stock market crashes. The data has not even come in yet from this quarter where we were locked down, and we've already had a major hit to the stock market, which we're bouncing around trying to recover now. If there is a future stock market crash, say this summer, or even going into fall, which historically crashes usually tend to be in the fall, the Roaring Twenties came to an end with an October 1929 stock market crash. In October of 1987, we saw Black Monday, another market crash. October of 2008, the Lehman Brothers crisis and the Great Recession. Even if you look at the dot-com crash, it began in spring of 2000. But the final crash in confidence wasn't until mid-September to October of 2001, following the events of September 11th and the World Trade Centers collapsing. All that money, trillions and trillions of dollars, is going to look for a safe haven to put itself. And you could invest in precious metals, which are like a global bond. You can take a gold coin here, I could sell my gold in Mexico, or I could sell it in the United States. It's good either way, and I can physically hold it and transport it rather than a bond, which I have to deal with some kind of brokerage. I see a lot of advantages to having physical coins, physical gold, silver, precious metals at this time instead of bonds. But I do believe in the future, if the stock market continues to go down like it did earlier this year, we're going to see a lot of money flooding into precious metals as a safe haven, just because there's not a whole lot of other places to put it. The next reason we are going to see prices of gold and silver rise is because of a little something I like to call helicopter money. Now, if you've been in the precious metals space and watching YouTube videos about them for a while, you've heard the term helicopter money before. This is a joke when the central bankers, imagine this, they're in a helicopter just dumping bags of money out over the people just to keep them happy. Do you see helicopter money? Because I certainly do. Currently, everyone in the United States got the largest stimulus that has ever been given out. It was $1,200. On top of that, the states are going massively in debt because people are claiming huge amounts of unemployment. Unemployment benefits have risen as well, and they've extended the amount of time you can qualify for unemployment. So people are going to keep collecting, and that money is not free. It doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from the government borrowing money in order to pay us. This is a form of helicopter money. Some people in America are getting $900 a week, over $3,000 a month to not work. When we look back on this time, they're going to say, my gosh, no wonder the countries went bankrupt. No wonder we had hyperinflated currency. Countries just borrowed money into oblivion and gave it back to their people in forms of unemployment and benefits and liabilities that the country couldn't fund. It's not just the United States. I heard they also are giving 2,000 Canadian dollars to everyone in Canada that says they've been affected by COVID-19. Countries are just giving out whatever they can, if they can. Some countries have done no stimulus. I have family in Panama, Argentina. They haven't gotten anything, but those countries are already in significant debt. Argentina has gone through another default, and their currency is already hyperinflating. Another reason precious metals are going to keep rising is, you may not know this because gold and silver haven't broken all-time highs in the US dollar yet, but in almost every other global currency, they're at an all-time high. In Mexican pesos, it's at an all-time high. In Canadian dollars, Australian dollars, gold has already broken an all-time high in most of these other countries. We're really fortunate to have the US dollar as a strong currency. so we haven't seen it break an all-time high yet, but it's likely to do that in the near future. You may recall in one of my last videos I said the trend is your friend until the end. Well, the trend right now is our friend. This bull run has only been a couple years, and generally bull runs in gold and silver can last a very long time. The current bull run we are in has lasted since 2016, about 4 years. The previous bull run began in the beginning of 2002 and didn't end until almost 2012. This shows us historically bull markets in gold can be as long as 10 years, and we are only 4 years in. So I believe that we just finished phase 1 of this bull run, and we are entering phase 2, which is public participation. And it's going to be the most exciting times. I believe it's going to really kick off when gold breaks $2,000. It's going to be news. People are going to be talking about their uncles and their friend power surge. I think it's a very exciting time actually to be holding. The trend is our friend right now. In a few months, you're going to see the news and everybody and their mother talk about gold and precious metals. I guarantee it. This happened with cryptocurrency too. In the beginning of 2016, nobody cared. But by the middle of 2017, during the height of the bull run, they said Bitcoin every few minutes on the financial news. And I believe the same will happen with gold and silver as soon as things really take off and gold breaks $2,000. Another reason it's a good idea to have some precious metals going forward is because we may actually be looking at an entirely new monetary system soon. And you may find this hard to believe, right? How is the US dollar not going to be the world reserve currency? I actually pulled this off of a United Nations newworldorder.org, and it describes happitalism as a new economic paradigm which places happiness, well-being, and freedom at the center of human development, models, systems, and all life. Imagine some kind of cryptocurrency with happitalism and happy points. It's ridiculous, but not too far from a possibility here in Clown World. Well, there is a very good chance with all this drama that is happening in the world, the financial markets, we could be getting set up for an entirely new financial system. Something cryptocurrency based, perhaps the dreaded one world currency may not be too far away. And if this happens, you don't really want to have piles of dollars to trade in. In my opinion, your precious metal is going to hold value through whatever turmoil goes forward, and on the other side of the new financial system, you'll likely be able to trade in that precious metal for a high value, whatever currency we use. Hypothetically, in the case that we do go through a complete global monetary reset, I think it's way better to come out on the other side of that with precious metals than with a bunch of fiat paper currency from whatever country you're in. Precious metals are global, and they've held value for over 4,000 years, and they can't print it. We're currently seeing breaks in the system. The central banks don't really have a whole lot of bullets left to save the system with. We're already at 0% interest rates. Some countries and places are at negative interest rates, and government bonds used to be seen as a safe haven asset. But with interest rates at 0 and bond yields going negative, gold looks like a much more attractive thing to be holding as a safe haven. And like I said, unlike government bonds, gold is not tied to any country. It's a global asset, and it's been valuable for over 4,000 years. If you found this video informative or helpful, please help me out by smashing the like button, leave a comment, tell me what you think. Feel free to share this video with a friend. Go ahead and subscribe, please. I do make videos all the time. Thank you again so much for watching. Good luck to you out there, and just have a great day.